We're bringing art into the boardroom. Iñigo Acuña, one of the Philippines' rising abstract expressionist, joins us to talk about the real business behind commissioned art, rising partnerships with designers, and how artists deliver high-impact works for homes and corporate spaces.
A lot of people see art like a stock. So if you're a budding artist and they see potential in you, they can kind of place their bet on you. If your career goes up, the value of the work they purchase from you goes up.
We are now open for business.
It is a signal to the world. We are open for business.
Abstract art is often framed as emotional and subjective, but behind every gallery wall is a business. There's commissions, pricing, logistics, and partnerships with interior designers and developers. With art fairs and online galleries expanding the market for contemporary Filipino art, artists who can create made-to-order works are turning studio practice into a service business. Joining us is Iñigo Acuña, an abstract expressionist who creates collaborative, commission-ready pieces and works with galleries and clients across the Philippines to uncover how the business side of art really works. How are you, Iñigo?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me here.
You know, this one is exciting because I think you're one of the few guests of Open for Business who are here to discuss things about art. But what I noticed, Iñigo, is this. Dati, puro mga collectors, mayayaman lang ang bumibili ng art or painting or sculpture or any art piece. But now, we see people, the younger ones, Gen Zs, millennials, who also collect or buy art. Is that also what you noticed?
I think a lot of people learn from their parents what to invest in and if something is accessible. Kasi a lot of people see art like a stock. So if you're a budding artist and they see potential in you, they can kind of place their bet on you, especially if they like to purchase art in the first place. Mm-hmm. So if your career goes up, the value of the work they purchase from you goes up.
Mm-hmm. But what about the buyers, Iñigo? Kasi parang bumabata din yung buyers.
Oh.
Is that a trend that you see? Because after the pandemic or during the pandemic, a lot of people, di ba, invested in real estate or they bought a lot of pieces and somehow paintings or artworks became also an investment. Was that an observation also that you had during and after the pandemic?
In a way, I think people are looking for something like because we did go through that pandemic and it changed everything. I think people are looking for something like a pandemic-proof investment, which maybe art might be the way kasi artist value always goes up. You can't go down as an artist. Kasi syempre, your client that purchased from you a year ago will say, bakit mo ba yung presyo mo, diba? So, negative yun. So as an artist, you really can't go down in price. So something like a pandemic-proof thing, most of the people that purchase with us, I find are 30s and above. Siguro na-influence din sila ng, now it's all on social media. Lumalabas how they create the artwork. It's much more interactive. You're able to communicate with the artist versus communicating through a dealer or yung gallery. So mas accessible siguro for the youth.
Okay. So, correct me if I'm wrong, pero parang sabi daw, when you invest into an art piece, kapag binili mo yung painting at tumagal yung painting, at sabihin natin, pumanaw yung artist. So, talagang mas mahal yun. Totoo ba yun?
Yeah, of course. Kasi hindi na siya mauulit. So, in a way, as an artist, you'll never see your highest price. Kasi you'll have to have passed away. I've heard of stories that people fake their deaths. Yung mga, kunwari namatay sila para makita na umangat yung presyo tapos yung mga kamag-anak na yung magbebenta. Parang ganon.
Do you also collect from other artists?
Artworks. If I'm in the financial position to do so, I'm kind of living on my own thing right now, you know. So, if I collect artworks, it's because I like the art. It's not necessarily like I put everything on 45 and then let's see if the ball lands there. I'm not looking at it as an investment, and I think most clients dapat tinitingnan niyo yung mga piyesa na gusto niyong bilhin kasi gusto niyo siya. Hindi dahil tataas yung presyo niya. Unless you're going to keep it in a storeroom, hide it away. Pero kung nasa bahay niyo, ma-appreciate niyo siya. I don't want to put down yung idea ng stock, pero a stock hindi niyo siya nakita sa bahay. Hindi siya na-appreciate. Pero pagkadaan nyo sa hall, you'll see something na nakakasaya sa inyo, brings you joy. It's
That
also a
in
nice-
itself is an investment.
Oo.
Did you study art?
I took theater.
Really?
Funnily enough, yeah. Sobrang layo,
Really?
di ba?
Oo.
Well, in a sense, sa art field pa rin siya.
Yeah,
Pero,
yes. At least, a part of the the spectrum.
Yes.
So saan ka dati? Was it CCP, PETA? Anong,
I was part of rep for a very short time, ha?
I'm sure you remember your works there.
Yeah.
What was that?
There was a lot of children's theater. We did Rapunzel. I met some of my greatest friends over there sa rep. Tsaka puro puso talaga. Everybody's so passionate. So everybody has their opinion talaga. And they're not afraid to be open about anything.
What are the things that you have somehow picked up from theater? Kasi sabi mo nga, mahalaga ang puso. Kasi ang puso, ginagamit nyo rin sa artworks ninyo. If you
Yes.
don't have your heart in that art piece, in that masterpiece, parang you will see it's just nothing, di ba? For someone who appreciates art, parang they see things that others cannot see, di ba? So the question is, what are, your learnings from theater that you somehow used in creating art pieces?
One of the things that I learned is your body is a tool. Ginagamit mo lang siya, huwag ka mahiya dyan sa katawan mo, tao tayong lahat, ganun. Tapos, an idea also is be honest. Which I'm using now kasi wala akong alam na script. There's nothing that's going on here. This is very candid. Kumbaga, my best weapon here is my truth and my honesty and being able to say, experience ko talaga. So, I use that every day.
And that's what I noticed in your Instagram, in your social media. When you explain it, when you put things as a backgrounder on the art piece, I sense sincerity and authenticity. How important are these in creating art?
Especially now sa social media, ang daming nanonood, ang daming tumitingin. They have a sense for what's real and what's not. So, when you post something that's not authentic to you, malalaman nila eh. They will understand eh. Especially if you're rising up as an artist and they do some research on you. 7 years ago, you said something against what you're saying now, how hypocritical you are. So, kailangan talagang honest ka from the get-go. You have to be honest from the very beginning. I think it translates into your artwork through the social media if you're going to be posting in that sense. But yung honesty na sinasabi ko sa artwork is more kung ano yung lumabas sa pyesa, that's your skill level. Hindi ka parang namameke na parang this is how I paint or something like that na you're copying someone. Kumbaga ang authenticity, the reason kung bakit yung work na yun works for that artist at umunlad yung buhay niya because of his work is because it's true to yung story niya. Yun yung authenticity niya sa story niya. So my artworks will work for me because it's true to my story. It's authentic to me. But if you are looking at another artist and seeing that they have success with their style and you copy their style, it might not work for you because it doesn't fit with who you are as a person. So as an artist, you have to wear your heart on your sleeve and stand on your words and say, this is who I am. This is me.
Wow, love it. Tell us briefly about your practice. I know that you come from a family of artists, painters, but you have your own style, or basically the Iñigo Acuña style and character. How do you describe it and what materials do you favor?
So right now, ang daming mga materials that come to mind kasi you have digital now. Yung pwede gawin from digital to physical, yung CNC, you can do printing. There's so many different methods. You can do stencils and whatnot. I'm constantly exploring different styles. Kasi the hardest challenge for me, ang tatay ko is a very prolific artist. Kilalang kilala. So the challenge is how do you differentiate? Ang sangay ko ay tumubo sa roots niya. Parang ganun. Parang ganun yung idea. So, I look at my style right now, and my style, it does not compromise me as an artist, but it also pays tribute to my roots. Kasi hindi ko siya mawawala eh. I was trained under my father. My mother also helped me, taught me how to paint, and a lot of it came from YouTube. So learning as I went and then figuring out different projects. Pagka may interesting na lumabas na artwork by an artist or anything, I'll figure out, I'll dissect it. Paano to ginawa? Ano ang layers? Paano ang proseso nito? And how can I apply that to my painting? How am I able to change the idea of the painting? And even now, I'm also using lights sa painting. So my backlit na idea so you can interact with the painting. Because that's been something that I feel has been lacking sa painting. When you enter a gallery, you are only there as a viewer to interpret the work.
Spectator lang.
Yes. You are not there to manipulate it or change it. You are only there to interpret the work. So my idea is to bring the client, the viewer, into the process of the creation of the artwork.
It's nice to hear you pay tribute to your roots. Pero napapressure ka rin ba?
Yes, of course. It's immense pressure. At mas lalo na ngayon that I'm having my first one-man show, everybody's gonna be thinking, oh, how does he measure up? So there's a lot of pressure on me. Will you try to be better? Parang improve? Parang ganun. I think that's the way it should be. I think the sons should be better than the fathers and the daughters should be better than the mothers. Tingin ko, ganun yung society will improve in that.
And parents will be prouder if
Of
they
course.
see their kids better than them or at par with them with their accomplishments, di ba? I have sons as well. If they succeed or they're better than me, you know, it's the pride of parents, di ba? But do you engage often also with Mr. Acuña?
It's like a silent relationship.
Okay.
No, listen.
Yeah, he's watching now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there were times kasi...
So magtitinginan na lang kayo ng work. Ay,
Oh,
yun ang
yeah,
ginagamit
no, it's
niya.
like this.
Is he your critic as well?
In a sense, yeah. Pero hindi niya sasabihin. Ito yung nakainis, hindi niya sasabihin. So, ang gagawin niya, like, meron kaming studio. We'd share a studio before. And then, I would be painting, I'd be doing my work, di ba? He would look over my shoulder and say, oh, maganda yan, maganda yan.
Pag
And then,
pangit.
Hindi, ganito. Sige, there's another time I was painting, titingin siya over my shoulder, tapos wala siya sasabihin, alis na lang siya. So, makakonsen siya, sabihin ko, may problema ba sa ginagawa ko? Ano nangyari dito?
Sometimes relationships vary, di ba? And sometimes that's a way to communicate na rin, di ba? Pero ang hirap na nanguhula ka.
Yeah.
But artists are like that daw. They're not really vocal about it, di ba? I know some of the artists, parang they don't necessarily express themselves verbally. Kaya nga siyempre, nag-art sila kasi that's where they make their impressions. But,
Yeah.
pero ikaw, parang you know na if he likes it or he doesn't.
Yeah. You have a really great sense of that. If you're the child of your father and you've spent some time around him, you can tell the slightest konting galaw lang alam mo na eh.
Okay.
Parang if the way he put down his glasses sounds weird. May problema ba tayo?
Also, based on your response earlier, you explore new ideas. One is involving the audience for the engagement with your work.
Yeah.
I've seen and I own a backlit piece. What inspired you to do that?
Isa sa mga kliyente namin dati, she was renovating her house. And then after a while, napansin ko, meron siyang parang siyang light box na painting, pero printed siya. Sabi niya, Noy, gawa ka ng ganyan, no? May ilaw sa likod, ang ganda-ganda. Maganon siya, sabi ko. Pwede, possibility. Tingnan natin. Let's work it into my style. Let's see. Kasi hindi ko pwede compromise yung style ko as an artist. Kasi pag nag-iba-iba ka lagi,
Hindi rin. Hindi ka consistent.
kailangan consistent talaga. So, nakita ko yung artwork na yun. And with every artwork that I see, I dissect it. How was it made? How was it produced? Hindi ko pa siya binubuksan. Nakita ko na kung paano nangyari yun. Ano yung ginamit nila doon. So, I just tried it. I just tried it out. Put it up on social media. Power of social media. May mga nag-inquire. Kuha naman sila. So, happy na ako. Wow! It's a viable style. So, yun yung ginagawa ko.
Are there other artists who did it na?
Very rare. Wala pa akong nakita in the
sige.
Philippines actually.
So hopefully this could be a trademark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At saka, if other artists are interested in trying to do it themselves, just go.
Why not?
Just go. Do what I did. Dissect the work. And then see paano ba siya ginawa.
Parang nire-reverse engineering
Reverse
mo.
engineer it. Yes.
Galleries list you as made to order. Can you walk us through a typical commission from first contact to delivery? Now, do you manage expectations on size, palette, budget, and timelines?
As an artist, you say yes. You say yes to anything that comes your way. Kahit hindi mo linya. Yes ka. Pero in a sense, they get you for your mind eh. Okay, so kunwari, meron siyang wall, pero meron siyang out of this world idea na parang painting siya, tapos may lumalabas na bakal na ganon. O di, sabihin mo, okay, how can we do that? You think already in your mind, how can we do that? What is the budget? What is the labor gonna be like? What are the tools necessary to create that? Yun yung naging idea. It's very collaborative process. Parang from A to Z type of idea is yung client mag-inquire sa akin. How much is your pricing? I have this project in the home. This is the size of my wall. And then I'll say, okay, sige, I can better give you a visualization. So he or she will take a picture of the wall, and then I will put a simple visualization there of the sizes, and then I'll be able to say, okay, so these are the sizes na babagay sa wall na yan, just based on my estimation. We're also open to coming over to measure the wall for you. That was also a problem during the pandemic. Everybody was scared of scammers. So kailangan physical kang pupunta. You have to be there in person. After sizing is done, I quote them on how much the pricing of the piece will be. And then if they're okay with that, we go to the next step, which is the how long it will take. And then we have to deliver on time. So it's very important. People really appreciate professionalism. If you can deliver on time, if you can do it professionally, and if you can take care of them after the painting is sold, that shows your professionalism. That shows that you will stand on that, behind your work. You'll stand behind your work.
Has there been an instance na, sige na nga, gawin ko na kasi ito yung gusto ng client? Kasi like say in a typical advertising agency, di ba minsan, some of the instructions of client, halimbawa, medyo out of this world or not necessarily realistic, pero because gusto ng client, o di ibigay mo na lang. May mga ganun ba na somehow it conflicts with the principles of your art na?
I haven't exactly received something like that, some inquiry na parang conflict sa akin. But I have to give them an idea of what I can do.
Ayun.
Oo,
okay.
kasi some people gusto na ng pagka-figurative work. And that's not my background. Pero this is what I say. If you want me to paint your family portrait, I'll do it. But you pay me in my style. Do it in my style. Yun yung expectation natin. You're asking an abstract artist to paint a figurative art. Well, I mean, there's some that can do it, pero for me, it's not my forte. But I do have to set expectations with clients kasi syempre, abstract ako eh. Oo, depende na lang kung paano nyo i-interpret yun, di ba?
Since we're in the show Open for Business, syempre we somehow, discuss these things. How do you price commissions versus gallery pieces? Do you use fixed price per size, hourly, or value-based pricing?
This is an interesting question. Kasi the art projects varies labor. I don't price per hour. I price per square foot, which has been the traditional way since my father has been painting, has been teaching me. It's per square foot. Pero it doesn't make sense because some smaller artworks that go for less take so much more time and more effort. Diba? So parang it's so hard to figure out pricing. You cannot be jumping around sa pricing sa painting. Kasi nga, you have to be consistent for your future clients and mas lalo na for your previous clients that have ordered from you in the past. So paano yung magiging basis natin? So it depends per artwork. Siguro if it's a special project, it has to have a special pricing. But if it's like the usual works that an artist does, like a traditional painting or a backlit work, we can figure out a pricing that is tugma dun sa workload.
And speaking of the time that you consume in doing artworks, are there more time for you to do more commissioned works, or ikaw yung artist na, sige, basta may inspiration ako, o gagawa na?
Hindi. Sabi ng tatay ko, kung hindi ka gumawa, di ka kain. Kailangan mong gumawa. You have to do the work. You really have to do the work. I look at it more like a 9 to 5. If I'm not painting, I'm doing commissions. If I'm not doing commissions, I'm answering inquiries. If I'm not answering inquiries, I'm creating posts. If I'm not creating posts, I'm making videos for the posts. I'm doing social media. As an artist, you're doing everything. You're doing everything. You don't own a business, you own a job as an artist. Pero it's all been very fun. But I can feel the strain over the years, over time.
Okay, that is the reason why Iñigo Acuña is here, telling us this, because it's an art, but it's also a business. And you do a lot of things. Like you mentioned about social media. Yung iba, lalo na yung mga panahon ko, Iñigo, hindi pa nagso-social media ang mga artists, di ba? Parang you hear them via word of mouth, or you go to the galleries talaga and discover who they are, or it's the members of the high society, who will tell you who is good, who is not, di ba?
Yung past way na more on word of mouth, people who will recommend you, I think magandang way pa rin yun. I think we are losing that touch in today's world na it's all on social media. But I would like to look at it as complementary si social media sa word of mouth. Kasi mas marami pa rin kukuha sa'yo through word of mouth.
Tama.
Like, na sure. Because recommended siya eh. A friend got it. Your friend won't want you to get a bad deal naman, di ba? And when they recommend you, they know that your work is good and you can deliver. So, ang ginagawa ko is, I use the social media, but I took a leaf from previous time. Yung mismo pupunta ka. So what I do, let's combine health and work, okay? So I'm jogging in our subdivision. I will look for houses that are nearly completed. And I will wait for them to move in. And I'll say, hi, neighbor. I live down the road. And I'm an artist. And then you introduce yourself and you say, hey, if you're looking for some artwork, I'm here, diba? What's more legitimate than somebody physically coming to your door who lives in the same area? Diba? So, an idea just to put out there na there's other ways to market yourself. You don't need to rely completely on social media. Huwag kang tatamarin. If you're an artist, you cannot have excuses. Kailangan mo talaga to market yourself. Your biggest problem is obscurity. Nobody knows who you are. If you like your artwork, there's a chance that other people will like it too. Kasi nagustuhan mo, another person will like it also.
What are your typical margins after materials, framing, gallery commissions, shipping, and installation? How do those costs typically factor into your pricing?
They don't even factor at all. Surprising, no? But can you imagine that? Di ba kasi artwork is, you can sell it for whatever. But the thing is, you have to be able to consistently sell it at that price. Hindi pwedeng 10,000 ako today tapos 3,000 ako bukas. Hindi pwedeng ganon. You have to keep on going up. So, the idea becomes to maintain that. You have to maintain that pricing and slowly go up. Kasi as you go up, you start to lose part of the market. So when you're going up, you have to be able to have a solid foundation that's going to purchase your artworks. If you're looking for a ballpark pricing, it depends on the size of the work. Siguro, let's say a 4 foot by 3 foot will cost like 1,000 pesos to make. But, you've got your time, your skill, your labor, and all of that is in there.
Pero Iñigo, meron bang instances naman na they appreciate your work, pero they want to get it definitely lower than what you have pegged it to be?
Yeah.
May mga instances ba na you said, I cannot shortchange my art?
Some of the saddest times talaga kasi you're so close to a deal. You've already agreed to the sizing, the style, perfect lahat. We've gone there to measure. We've met your family. We understand already what's going to come through pero hindi tayo mag-agree sa pricing. There are times that you really have to say no. Because you have to, and I will explain that you have to protect the previous clients. And once you're part of this, once you've purchased the work, you will be part of the people who I'm protecting also from getting a bad deal. So to consistently be able to get that pricing right, you have to be able to sell that pricing or more. Not necessarily you sell it for more. Sometimes a gallery will sell it for more kasi, it's a business. Kumbaga, ang puhunan nila is they purchase the work and then after they sell it for more. That's basically the idea. You have to be able to maintain that pricing for other people. So there are clients that we've said no to. And these are clients who have purchased before with us. So, dapat they would understand. Pero at the same time, I understand also that you really want a good deal. Pero the idea becomes, bumili ako dati sa'yo, hindi ba pwedeng ganun yung discount? Sometimes I can't. I really just can't. You know, it doesn't...
So you can also say no to a client.
Yeah, sometimes you have to.
In your case, what is your target market or segment of the market that you think will appreciate your work?
Young professionals. We've also had a lot of clients that also owned my father's work. So they see my work, nakita nag-appreciate yung work ng father ko, and they think, oh, okay, maybe the son will have the same story. So it's kind of like a stock, diba? So na kind of betting on me in a way, and so I really don't want to let those people down. So previous clients of my father, young professionals, people who just want to give gifts, kasi I also make smaller sizes, diba? Oo. Something very interesting. It's pretty broad, actually. Oo.
You mentioned about collaborations earlier. Tell us more about collaborations with clients or interior designers or developers. Do you approach designers or do designers approach you? Parang vice versa ba yun? Any examples where a piece increased the perceived value of a space?
Definitely. I mean, if you've got a bare wall that doesn't have anything on it, you can increase the value and the look of that place by having a bespoke painting. Kumbaga, custom siya. Collaborating with designers. Vice versa talaga. Kasi there social media, diba? Everybody's online. So, pwede ka mag-post ng ganito na I do this kind of artwork. Minsan may mga lalapit sa inyo. Tapos sometimes you have contractors nga lalapit sa amin from construction pa. So, hindi pa tapos yung bahay. Meron na siyang idea kung anong pwede niya i-recommend. Iba-iba. Minsan, the collaboration process is si interior designer may peg na siya na gusto niyang ipagawa. Ikaw yung magiging kamay na siya yung gagawa. So, you have to figure out, okay, what material was this? Ayun, you're dissecting the painting again. So, ayun, magiging idea, okay, we can go at my pricing, ganyan. And then, minsan, gusto na ng better deal. Na, how can I get a better deal with this? I say, I won't sign the painting. I won't certify it, I won't sign it. So, kumbaga, parang hindi sa akin siya. Pero you'll pay similar pricing to my original work. And then, most of them don't take that deal. They just say, you know what, sign it na. We'll pay you your pricing. Kasi syempre, nandiyan ka na eh. Nagawa mo na eh. Nasa process ka na. Basically, you're at the end stage of the process. Delivery na lang kulang. There are two variations of that. You'll be kind of like the unknown artist na walang signature sa work nyo. And hindi siya kasing valuable as a signature. Kasi yung signature, it shows na gawa siya ng individual artist.
Which is exactly my question. How important is that? And how important is the certificate of authenticity?
Yung certificate of authenticity is there to show that the artwork is a legitimate piece by the artist. Ngayon, ang galing ng mga forgers. They copy everything. It's getting so much harder. It's
Even
an
the
arms
signature.
Race. Yes, it's an arms race. The forgers are finding new ways to create the artwork to make it look exactly like the authentic one. And the authenticators are trying to find ways to authenticate the paintings in different ways. Especially mga luma, there's carbon dating and all of that. And with carbon dating, a forger can just purchase canvas from a previous period. There's X-ray. How do they do that naman? How do they see the sketch before the actual painting? So they'll do a fake sketch also. Kokopya nila lahat ng proseso. So as a forger, you have to be very good at the artist you're trying to forge. Ngayon, with the idea of how important certificate of authenticity is, it shows the legitimacy of the painting. So if in the future na gusto niyo siyang ibenta, hanapin talaga yun. So it's always good to keep ties with the artist. Kasi eventually, if you want to sell the painting, and you lost the certificate, kailangan i-buy ng certificate, you approach the artist again.
But Iñigo, since you know about forgery, parang is there a counter way for you as an artist to make sure that you know if they really forged you then? Like say for example, no, that's not my signature, that's not my work. May ganun din ba?
I think you've experienced din naman sa artwork ko no, na my handwriting is not legible. Hindi siya, parang doktor ako magsulat, mas ano sa certificate. So the handwriting is part of the legitimacy. So kung nakita nandun yung handwriting na parang ako nga, then I will already know. Kasi there's strokes there.
I see.
It's all very practiced. It's all very choreographed, kumbaga. So that's part of the authenticity, as well as yung mga certificate, and making sure that that certificate serial number is in our system.
Okay.
Na tugma siya sa painting na yun, then yeah, that's an authentic painting. So if you are getting an artwork from a dealer, make sure all of these things are in order.
You're very active in social media. You're active on Instagram and galleries, di ba?
Yes.
What's been more effective in bringing in commissions? Gallery exposure, social media, word of mouth, or art fairs?
Oh, social media. Definitely social media. It's so much more consistent. You're able to communicate with clients much more often. You're able to maintain a relationship. Kasi sa gallery, you are kind of just a product on their shelf. Kumbaga, ito yung artist, tapos ito yung mga pyesa niya na available. Pero definitely social media, mas lalo na if you're actually paying for ads. Don't be afraid if you're an artist, tapos 100 pesos lang puhunan mo. That's how I started. Go for
100.
it. 100 pesos lang for ads. Start it. Do it. Kasi people will eventually come and inquire. Siyempre, kailangan matutunan ng social media kung ano yung audience mo. So, kailangan consistent kayo mag-post. Kailangan consistent kayo na social media, interacting with all of them. And then, eventually, you get your clients. But you have to first build a portfolio. You have to first have a single client first. So, start out. Just start. Just start it.
Do you offer prints, limited editions, or licensing for corporate offices to scale revenue? Or do you prefer to stay focused on one-off originals?
Currently focused on one-off originals. I don't know how I feel about prints. As you may have noticed, a lot of my artworks very texturized. Yung feeling, even the acrylic panel ones, they seem to have a texture to them. Especially when the light hits, you can tell that there are layers to the artwork. You can make a lot of money through prints, at pwede siya magiging mas accessible sa mga tao na just want to get a special artwork but don't want to spend that much money. So, prints is a possible way. Pero actually, that's still pricey. Sometimes it's more pricey to make the print than it is to actually paint the painting. Diba? Pero, mas ma-access mo yung market, mas magiging affordable yung artwork sa kanila through prints.
Minsan, mas mahal pa yung yung price ng frames. May ganun. I appreciate that because choosing a frame also is an art by itself. Gaano ka-importante. I know that some of your works don't necessarily need frame on it, di ba?
Yeah.
Parang canvas lang, okay na. But how important are frames also, that will frame that piece of work?
I didn't put much value to frames long ago kasi most modern houses di naman talaga nagfa-frame. Usually just wrap around. Kumbaga canvas lang yung nakita tapos we paint it na lang for presentation. We also had clients before that didn't want it the side painted. Gusto nilang kung ano yung raw na tapos ng pyesa, yun na yun. Kahit may naka-expose pang puting canvas dyan na hindi na pintura, gusto nila raw. So parang mas close sa artist. Pero I met an artist na naka-show ko din siya. At sabi niya sa akin, ang frame ay parang damit ng artwork. So how you present your artwork, it's like the clothing. Kahit sabihin natin na modern house siya, you don't necessarily need a frame. And I don't necessarily have to recommend frame talaga. Pero if you really want to present your artwork in the most appealing way, you can put up a frame. It depends on your purpose. As you said, mahal nga talaga yung frame. It can get expensive, upwards of 20,000 sometimes for a couple of
sometimes, yes.
for a couple frames.
And depends on the material din. May
Yes.
wood, may plastic, may
Yes.
glass, acrylic,
Yes.
fiberglass.
Yes, ang daming kinds of frames. There are even frames that you can have custom-made CNC. They will custom make the frame exactly to the size. Kasi minsan yung tabas, nakakat yung design.
Yeah.
Pwedeng ituloy yung design na yon. So,
I see.
meron kayong CNC na natutuloy yung design. Parang made for, bespoke na nga sa'yo yung painting, bespoke pa sa'yo
Pati
yung
yung
frame.
frame.
Oo. So, hindi na ganun ka, parang basta-basta yung frame. So, with modern houses, I would suggest yung mga box frame lang. Simpleng box frame lang. Just a sleek line just around the side, just to highlight the painting. You don't necessarily need something na parang gorgeous na, and grandiose na you have mga tatlong frame na nakaganon. Depende na lang kung paano nyo gustong i-present yung artwork nyo. In a sense, kung isa kang kliyente, that's the way that you want to put out the work. that you want to present the work. Kumbaga, the artist made the artwork, pero kayo bahala mag-present sa home niyo.
Going back to business again, what business mistake should emerging artists avoid when taking commissions?
Never go down in price. Never go down in price. Magagalit yung previous yung client. When having a commission work done, make sure that you don't muddle that up kasi you have a reputation, no, to uphold. If you're the type of artist that goes down in price just because convenient siya sa'yo, then everybody will know and nobody will want to buy from you kasi hindi ka consistent. Yung presyo mo pataas pa baba, kung paano lang yung feeling mo. Mag-inquire kaya ako pagka malungkot siya, ganun, di ba? Parang makakuha ako ng magandang presyo sa kanya. So, depende na lang, di ba? So, you have to be very consistent sa pricing nyo when it comes to commissions.
Okay, where do you see your practice in 3 to 5 years? Will there be more interactive works, bigger installations, or working with developers for site-specific series?
I want everything.
Love it.
I want everything. So this upcoming show, I'm going to be incorporating a lot of the backlit works kasi it's a novelty.
Yeah,
It's pretty rare na makita sa industry yung ganon. So I want to see where that goes. This is a big risk for me then. It's a big undertaking for me then. So I want to experience na.
How many works are you showcasing?
I'm showcasing around 16 works in that show.
16 works.
16
Different
works.
size.
Different.
16. 1/6.
1/6.
1/6. Different sizes.
Different sizes.
And different
Different styles.
styles.
Yes, different styles.
With this style, with this showcase, what's your expectation? I know that this is going to be the first solo exhibition that you have.
I expect to be judged by a lot of people. Kasi nga, hindi ma-avoid yung expectation sa tatay ko, di ba, na, how will he measure up?
But how are you preparing for this? Kasi, siyempre, there's going to be positive and negative yun. He's better or he's a different style totally. May ganon. How are you preparing?
So currently, ang ginagawa ko is I'm just dedicating as much time as possible sa mga works ko. So everything that's gonna be coming out during that show, I've poured all the hours of my day into basically. I'm also inviting our previous clients kasi they might not be updated anymore. So going back sa chats over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, trying to invite everybody that might be interested in the show. Siyempre, the artist you invested in 4 years ago is having their first one-man show. You might wanna come.
Have you also seen exhibits of your father before?
Yes.
How is this different from the exhibitions that were done in the past, were installed in the past?
This one, you're able to interact with the painting. I do want to make it different para there's slightly different, more appeal, something new. I don't know what this is, but it's something, you know? I just want to give it a shot, want to try it. So if I find some potential in something, I'll really try to extract that potential, do my best to be able to create something that's new.
For collectors and companies watching, what should they ask an artist before commissioning, and what guarantees or terms should they expect in a commission contract?
You should expect the artist will be able to deliver on time. You should be able to expect somewhat similar to the idea or peg. As a client, you should expect the artist to explain the artwork if there is some kind of idea that you want to portray or to show in the artwork. And the artist should be clear and concise about the pricing, about the artwork. And if you need a breakdown, that artist should also be able to give that. You know, some artists have the painting delivered or they deliver it personally. Depende lang sa usapan nila yun.
Iñigo, you mentioned earlier at the beginning of the interview that you somehow pay tribute. You look at your roots in doing your work. But who or what is the source of your inspiration?
Overall, my father. There's this artist in Japan, Takashi Murakami. He came up with super flat, and the idea was it was mostly stencils with super bright colors. Kung pinagtabi niyo yung painting ng father ko at yung akin, you can tell na parang mas bata yung gumawa ng artwork ko. My colors, some say they have more pastels in it. Some say that it's more vibrant or brighter. Pero iba-iba naman talagang interpretation ng tao eh. I think overall, the majority of where I learned how to paint was YouTube. So kung saan-saan ko lang nakuha.
University of YouTube.
Oo, libre lang eh. Gamitin nyo na. 'Di ba? So kung saan-saan ko nakakuha ng inspiration how to paint. And I see something interesting online. Some artists working with dye. Some artists working with cartridge ink, pang printer. Some artists working with sublimation and then changing how they use the ink. Iba-iba eh. Heat treated. There's so many different ways that they make artworks.
What's your advice to new artists, and also what's your advice naman to artist entrepreneurs, to somehow be more creative and get into the business and stay open for business?
Nobody knows you as an artist. I'm not trying to say that as an offending thing, but your problem is obscurity. So most people will try to look for art that they like. And if you're not in a list of anything, if you're not putting yourself out there in some way, whether it be through galleries, through curators, through dealers, social media, then nobody's gonna know about you. So you have to take a chance on yourself and kind of invest the time. It's a lot of time. You have to invest a lot of time, a lot of work to be able to make somewhat of a following. Kasi you're gonna really start from scratch. And also, one source that's been very good is artists. So if you know artists who are already professionally doing work, makisama ka, go over there, go to their show, say, hi, my name is this, introduce yourself, and then show them your work. And if they have a job for you in the future, maybe a collaboration, a show, go for it. Just say yes to everything. Kasi if you have no experience, if you have a blank portfolio, there's nothing to lose. Just say yes to everything.
And if they want to get a piece of Iñigo Acuña, where will they find you?
Or you can check out our social media on Iñigo Acuña Art on Facebook and Iñigo Acuña Art on Instagram.
And our biz word for the week is impasto. It is a technique used in painting where paint is laid on an area of the surface thickly, usually thick enough that the brush or painting knife strokes are visible. Paint can also be mixed right on the canvas. Behind every abstract canvas is a structured business, from commissions and pricing to partnerships with designers, developers, and corporate clients. In a growing Philippine art scene where contemporary works are finding space in homes, offices, and commercial developments, commissioned art is no longer just creative expression. It's a service, a collaboration, and a value-adding investment. Understanding how artists and buyers work together helps build a more sustainable creative economy, one where art doesn't just inspire, but also works. And with that, our quote for the week is from Andy Warhol. He said, "Making money is art, and working is art, and good business is the best art." Maraming salamat sa iyo, Iñigo. Thank you so much for coming over. Maraming salamat sa isang oras na pagsama sa amin upang tunghayan ng isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us too on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines. Sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you are informed and open for business. Ito po si Cesar Vallejos. Marami pong salamat.